Hello, it's me, LHMusic, and guess what? I am back from this one, from this hiatus thing, because we're doing Everyday Agenda video podcast. So is the podcast, as far as we concerned, from Angel Song Productions and Spreaker Studios. So we're going to get ready to talk about, yes, shape notes and all that. So starting with, Nebraska all day shape notes singing. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Trust me. And about all the pizza party, informal, formal shape notes singing down at Rockbrook United Methodist Church, and so as you guessed it, that's right. You know what that means. First, no, wait a minute. Trinity Lutheran, you know, Nebraska all day singing and lots more. So you just had to trust me about this as far as we're concerned. And don't forget getting to know you. Yes, getting to know, you guessed it. That's right. Mm, Jim Solheim, and he wrote lots of children's books and all that stuff. And so is Rachel's thoughts and lots more. So who knows could be civilized about this one as well. So and I'll give you this. So who knows could be civilized about all this. Trust me. Plus a little bit of news and all that stuff, and take it from there. So better get ready for that as far as we're concerned. So who knows could be civilized about all this, lots more. So you keep civilized about this one. So who knows? Anyways, I hope you're ready. I can't see. Let me put my headphones on and be ready for this one. So you just have to trust me as far as we're concerned. Okay, where's my audacity? Yes. Mm-hmm. And it's gonna be huge. Trust me. I know what I'm doing. So who knows? Could be civilized about this. So hope you're ready. I can too. So less than a minute. So about this one. So right here we go. Wash my fingers. Yep. Everyday Agenda podcast and video podcast as well is a presentation of Angel Song Productions and Spreaker Studios, and so is YouTube. Okay, you know what time it is. Time for another edition of you guessed it, Everyday Agenda podcast. And so is the video podcast from Angel Song Productions and Spreaker Studios, and so is YouTube. Matthew West sing. Wow, I hope so. Anyways, I'm at Two Space Podcast Studios at 90th and 4th Street in Omaha, Nebraska. And we have a wonderful show for you today for the next 60 minutes or so. So get ready for this one. So who knows? It's all about Nebraska all day singing this weekend. Civilized about this one. Starting with all day singing pizza party at Pitch Pizzeria in out in West Omaha, Nebraska. And I have to tell you, I love pizza, including I choose mozzarella sticks. Goes along with pepperoni pizza. Thank you, Jim, and the rest of OS west of Omaha. Wait, wait, Omaha Champion singing members and guests and all that stuff. So I'll explain this as well. Well, an informal shape note singing at Rock Brook United Methodist Church, and I'm going to say this. It's going to be out in what's this? Oh yes, out in you know who, 98 West and West Center Road, and could be a little bit of scene for yeah last Friday night and all that. So who knows him so much. So I'll explain it as well. The big one is Nebraska All Day Singing. What they have in common at Trinity Lutheran Church out of North Omaha, 30th Street, and it's gonna be huge. Trust me. And lots more. Don't forget getting to know Jim Solheim, and so is Rachel Stotts, and lots more. Let's begin. You know, that's right. Oh gosh, you got a lot to cover about this one. So you just had to trust me about it as far as we can certain about that as well. So here's my observation about yes, according to Blaze Media, yes, Hero Cousins, just 9 and 11 years old, because they step in a big way, noticing trouble at their favorite ice cream shop, and oh gosh, it's gonna be huge. So trust me about this as well. Well, who knows? Can still is about cousins or cousins and all that as well. So and about these things about all the news and all that stuff about this one. So you just have to trust me about this for as we concern. But anyways, because Aaron Rush just opened a brand new ice cream shop out in South St. Louis, Missouri, and so here's a video report about that youngsters will come to his shop, you know, Aunt Jamie's frozen custard and waffles. Wow. Oh God. Just take a look and watch this. It's from let's see, Fox 2, St. Louis, Missouri. Listen to this. Listen to this exchange. Oh wow. And these kids are 9 and year olds about how they open their ice cream shop, and because his everybody's his windows just been shattered, and criminals just came in and breaking inside. Well, who knows? Thank God that Aaron Rush just saved these two kids' life, and they are hero cousins. And oh God, and I have no objection whatsoever. So that'll be good. Trust me, everybody knows about that as well. Okay, so what comes next? A list of things for you to discuss about that as well. Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. Because anyways, our nation's 250th birthday, it's up for grabs real soon. For now, and it's gonna be huge. But you might think it's so smart about the American Family's Book of Fables and all that. Wow, could be the wisdom for our nation's 250th birthday. And that's why the scholar, teacher, and children's author Matt Mahan just creating a huge book to try to educating this, and about whatsoever about, yes, because he is a associate dean and associate professor of yeah that's right, government at Hillsdale College in Washington D.C. And Matt, and Matthew, just you guessed it, has built a remarkable reputation of, yes, as a children's author. And his books is in the making years after years, and finishing the products of, you guessed it, lasting works about this. So really makes sense about this one. And with that in mind, because he just winning this award, one of the just five 2025 innovation prizes from the Heritage Foundation last summer, and that's why he did this brand new book called The American Family's Book of Fables. And this book is it's all for ages, not just for kids, because because it will work through the Declaration of Independence, phrase by phrase, and so is supporting and expounding the founding documents with a sort of fables, dialogues, and all that. Well, everything else can be civilized about these things more than more than at least you can imagine that. So, because everything else, this guy wrote this book, and look at this. Oh gosh, illustrating drawings and all that. So who knows can be civilized. This is why he makes beautiful oil paintings for Manhattan's mammals, and that's what he uses as the same principles. And that's why he do a combination of all types of artwork, and so it's 13 major oils that produce the animals and all that. So who knows can be civilized. Well, you might say about this, but who knows can be civilized, because everybody knows has, you guessed it, pen and ink and computer color and watercolor and all kinds of stuff. So you just have to trust me about this, as far as we're concerned. Well, of course. Now, I bet this book could be released in May 2026, and it will be available at your bookstores everywhere, or you pre-order it at Amazon. And it starts May 20th. This starts May 2026. And culminating with the 4th of July semi quintessential centennial celebration and all that. And his website is mythicalmammals.com. That means all on his website, so his could be huge. You can check out his other books like Mr. Mahan's mildly amusing mythical mammals, and the handsome, that's right, Stitchin Signet. Yes, and it's gonna be huge. And that's why I'll be posting it on my Blaze Nation website, so check this out for yourself as well. And you can read this article from Blaze Media at theblaze.com and click on align. Could be the lifestyle things. So trust me about that as far as we're concerned. And oh yes, let's see. I have time for one more. Yes. Oh yes, Jimmy Kimmel. Oh yeah, wants to know about canceling his, that's right, late night talk show. Oh wow. So I don't know why about Jimmy Kimmel. This is so absurd to me about this one. If you know what's good for you and all that, and take it from there. So who knows? Give me some lies. And oh yeah, there it is. And here's my observation for you. This is so absurd to me about Jimmy Kimmel. Type in the words. And let's see. Here it is. So ask this question: why is Jimmy Kimmel used to pray? ABC would cancel his late night talk show host. See, this is what I did posted on Blaze Nation website this week, because he uses the word pray that the time will be canceled of this eponymous late night talk show. And what did he do? He started to try to really suspend it last month. Made a stupid comments about Charlie Kirk's death, and all that. Because everybody knows who's the long time friend. Sarah Silverman is about this, and that is gonna be the show finally its footing. Right. What about his latest remarks about his network could be ill time, and that's why Kirk comments about this. Charlie Kirk comments, and could be preempted, and tries to move to guess that next star, threatening to preempt the program. And it finally made its decision according to Walt Disney's Disney Company in a statement. It says, we have been spent last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy Kimmel, and those conversations. So it reaches the decision. It will return, Tuesday. Whatever. Did you always know about this one? Well, that is so dumb. Well, just wait and see about that, because Jimmy Kimmel is not for sale either. Just who knows? Give me some less. Anyways, that's all I can say. Anyways, let's get started, shall we? You listen to my Everyday Agenda podcast, and so is the video podcast from Angel Song Productions and Spreaker Studios, and so is YouTube. And let's get started, shall we? So who knows? Give us a list. So, anyways, let's get started. Yes, shall we? Hope this music comes up. Anyways, Yes. Oh yeah, there it is. Here we go. So you might think it's so smart about Nebraska all day shape notes this weekend. It's gonna be huge. And we got started with pizza party, and I know it's Friday. So that's why after I deal with this podcast information and all that stuff at Milton Abrams Library slash D Space, and I have no clue whatsoever. So here's my observation. I was waiting for Jim Solheim to pick me up at at the library, and that's why he has a key his Kia car and all that. So that means I hop in with Jim Solheim's ride, and we're on our way to yes, pitch yes, pitch pizzeria out in West Omaha, and I know if my shape notes singing is singing people are there, so who knows? Can be civilized about this one. So and who knows? So that means we're on our way to pitch pizzeria at West Omaha. Yes, that means 17808 808 Burke Street out in West Omaha. And and you might think it's so smart about this one. Wow, it's a kind of a restaurant as all that happens, and it has outdoor patios and all this one. So who knows? So that means Jim and I just got in, and who's in earlier? Steve, yeah, from yes, probably in Minnesota. I don't know. So he's the only one, and so is Marilyn comes in, and so is oh yes, Carol and Anne. And shape notes singing singers from Omaha, and I bet the Minnesota shape notes singing people not be able to come. So trust me about this. Well, so that means we order something. Yes, like pepperoni pizza, and me, I ordered, yes, you guessed it, mozzarella sticks, and it's kind of huge. Wow, with marinara sauce and kind of green stuff. It could be salad or anything else. Give me so last. So that means Marilyn and myself, and so is Jim, ordered a pepperoni pizza, and the other ones ordered these guys shaped on singing people ordered a sandwich or anything else, something else. So that means we have a wonderful time, and wow, it's gonna be huge for all of us. We talk about this shape notes singing and all that, and others. So gotta trust me about that as far as we're concerned. And here's my observation. This is this is why the ladies, pitch could be interesting. because this is what happens about you guessed it, all the happy hour you guessed it, specials and all that, including pitch, wine, and cocktail programs, and discover their drinks and the menus and all that. Oh gosh. And each and every single day, because if you have a professional, because they have pizzas and all that, all the brunches and all kinds of stuff that you already know about that as well. So, well, I guess, yeah. And what about catering? Wow, because they're excellent and good vibes for now. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens to pizza party. It is far as we concerned about all that. So about this one, so trust me. And that's why Friday, Pizza Friday, and I just read an email from Jim, and I meant to tell you this. This guy's all good. Well, who knows about that as well? So trust me. And I have no clue. And you know, I think we have a wonderful time eating pizza and all that kinds of stuff. And what about the bill? Yeah, Jim paid for my mozzarella sticks and my iced tea and all and others. So who knows? So that means we have a wonderful time at Pitch Pizzeria out in West Omaha doing shape no singing. We're in love for Fridays. You're listening to my Everyday Agenda podcast, and so is the video podcast as far as we're concerned, from Angel Sun Productions and Spreaker Studios, and of course, YouTube. We're on the road to Rockbrook United Methodist Church for this one. We're on the road over to Rockbrook Village, United Methodist Church. Is at 98th and West Center Road. Because after this pizza party at Pitch, it's gonna be huge. Trust me. So that means Jim and I went to Rockbrook United Methodist Church. It's a huge, kind of a church uh, thing, and I have no clue whatsoever about this. And wow, and this is looks like a United Methodist Church, as far as we're concerned, because few of those singers are still rival, and this is gotta be huge. So I was there. So was Steve and Marilyn and the rest of Omaha Shape No Singers and out of town Shape No Singers. And it really makes sense about this one. So who knows? Give me some less. But you know what that means. Now Rockbrook United Methodist Church is is all about all of that because because it has a inclusive affirming church that in the 21st century, and they've been going to church all church every Sunday, and for Sunday morning worship services and all that stuff, and you know what that means. So could be life challenging about this. So who knows? Could be civilized about this, and that means Jim is gonna go downstairs in the basement, and it could be a formation thing, and setting up chairs and all that. So who knows? Could be civilized about this one, setting up chairs and all that, and got us together, sitting down and all that stuff. And by the way, I bet Sacred Harp has a new revised version of this one. Shape Note, yeah, Sacred Harp revised songbook, and all the shape notes and all that stuff. And oh boy, this could be huge. And could be a 2025 edition about this one, because it really, really makes sense in all those song titles and all that. Trust me. So it could be life challenging for this one. And we sat down, yeah, about 90 minutes until it's over about 8:30 at night. And we picked some shape notes singing and all that stuff, and leading and all that stuff. And that could be good for now. And it really makes sense about this one. So I just want to make it quick, if you know what I'm saying. Because, thanks to Rockbrook United Methodist Church out at West Center Road in Omaha. And I meant to tell you this. Gosh, could be a sanctuary worship thing. And take a look around and all kinds of stuff like, uh, about all those books and all that stuff. And on the shelf, pretend it's a library. And it really makes sense about this one. So this could be huge about this one. So this is what happens about, you know, trust me. So that means that it was over, and Carol went back home earlier. I stayed there till 8:30 starts, until it's over with. So who knows about, and we're wrapping things up, doing shape notes, singing, and all that stuff. So on so that means wrapping this up and get ready to hit the road, and then Annie's hitting home at Carol and Ed's house. Me, I'm out. Get ready to go to Zozo Coffee House, and it really makes sense about this one. Thank you, Jim. Really appreciate you try to prick me up and all that, and all that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm meant to tell you that's gonna be good. So informal shape note singing at Rock Brook United Methodist Church, and I have no clue, and could be on the road to Rockbrook United Methodist Church. But don't even try this at home, but might be learn something. You're listening to my Everyday Agenda podcast and video podcast as well from Angels Home Productions and Spreaker Studios and YouTube. Today, you might think it's so smart about Nebraska all day singing at, you guessed it, Trinity Lutheran Church, North 30th Street in Omaha, right next to my Episcopal Church of the Resurrection at 30th and Belvedere Boulevard. And I have no objection whatsoever about this atmosphere. And it's going to be upstairs in the chapel where children are singing and all that stuff. And have lunch downstairs. Would you believe that? You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's, you know, in each event, her life are clear about this one that like got on the bus on our way to Trinity Lutheran Church at North 30th Street in Omaha, Nebraska. And I try to sense about this one. So how do I get in? Well, I saw the sign says singing. Oh wow, you would have noticed, haven't we? Well, I bet you ought to know by now about this because this is so obvious about getting in upstairs and yeah, Jim is here today, and I'm go downstairs and put my bag up, and I have no clue whatsoever. So when I got upstairs and I heard they're taking a break and all that stuff, because I was a little bit late, and I have no clue or anything else to be civilized about, and no, I have all these things about yeah doing shape notes and who's leading about this? Well, who knows? This is why I saw Kathy and Jenny and Sue, yeah, um, Omaha Shape Notes singing members, which I knew this long time ago, years ago. I was there, and everybody knows about shape notes and all that stuff. So that's why. And the other one is, oh gosh, and Carol and his her husband, yes, Ed. And I have no clue whatsoever. And all the singings and all that stuff are inside. Yes, that's right. Because you have no clue no clue whatsoever. So singing and playing and all that, and all fossil laws and these other shape note singers comes from parts of America, from Minnesota to you guessed it, Vermont and all that. So it it takes a long time to do it. So who knows? But anyways, this this you know Jim wants me to lead this. You guessed it, peace and joy, and I have no clue whatsoever. So who leads it? Yeah, Delta, and so is and so it's Amy and or should I say any, and others. So who knows? So that means we have a huge all day singing every single time inside this chapel. Yeah, at Trinity Lutheran Church. Thank you, Pastor John, for doing things like this. And I have, and everybody's, and who calls? Yes, this gentleman wears a basketball T-shirt, and I've NBA basketball T-shirt, and I have no clue whatsoever. So this gentleman wants to call out a name and all that because they have 150 years of shape note singing and all that, and minutes and all this. So that could be life challenging because after this one, headed downstairs, there's a potluck. Oh my God, that you don't want to try this at home. See, because I try to pass on lunch because I got yes, two of those pastries, apple pastries, and oh gosh, it was all good. And yes, half of this chocolate chip muffin, and and I and I and I got my own iced coffee, and so is my orange juice, as far as we're concerned. And that is why it happens. We got together talking and all that stuff, and all this one. So who knows about this one? So I dare take some. You guessed it. That's right. Mm-hmm. Some pastries and some yeah, put in a Ziploc box so I can take it to work to on Monday. And who knows? Can be civilized about this one, but that doesn't change because all the food and all that stuff. Oh gosh, who knows? Can be civilized. Oh, like, you're not gonna eat too much, do you? Of course not. But this is a huge spread about this one and all this. So wonderful because this is what happens if you already know about this one. Because who knows? Could be living in each event of this one. This could be huge, and I could be huge. And you know what I'm saying. So Nebraska all day singing this weekend. Oh God, is a blast. Pizza party, informal trip, no singing, and I have no objection whatsoever. So who knows about all day singing? Do this next year, whatever it is. Trust me. You're listening to my Everyday Agenda podcast, and so is the video podcast as far as we're concerned. From Angel Sound Productions and Spreaker Studios, and of course, that's right. Yes, oh yes, YouTube, as far as we're concerned. All right, time to getting to know Jim Solheim, and I have no clue whatsoever. So I'll find the website if you know what I'm saying about this, and um, yes, yes, find his website if you know what I mean. Let's see. Uh, yes. Mm, mm, mm. Uh, yes. Yes, there it is. Jim Solheim. Yeah, website. So who knows? But he's the author of You Know What I'm Talking About. So who knows about this one? Let's talk about getting to know Jim Solheim. And you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, uh, anyways, let's just do it, shall we? James Taylor saying, okay, you know what that means. Getting to know you segment, brand new segment is going to be huge. Anyways, Jim Solheim, he picks me up at Q Space yesterday, and this guy, oh God, this guy's good for good for you know who. That's right, and that's why he written all children's books and and shape notes, singing lyrics and all that stuff. Because every time that he first published, it's disgusting, and we ate it from Simon and Schuster, and I have no clue whatsoever about Solheim and all that stuff. So that's why he did shape note singing and all that with Omaha Shape Note Singers, and I wonder what happened to that Omaha Shape Note Singing website. And tell them sorry, we don't get it. So who knows? But anyways, but that's why he wrote children's books and all that stuff, all those crazy things that you ought to know by now about children's books, about such as Born Yesterday, and that Penguin Random House, and so is Dolly Parton's Imaginary Library, and all that. But his brand new book, illustrated by, according to New York Times' own Derek DeCitro, it's all about history, about 12 generations of grandmotherly love. Oh, wow. So all that, trust me, trust me, it had published the Green Willow books and at HarperCollins imprints and all that stuff. So that'll be life challenging. And did you know that Shape Note Singing is online? Gemma's website. It sounds like Zoom, Zoom video callers. Well, or should we say? Let's see. I couldn't pronounce the name from Microsoft. If you know what I'm saying, but Jim does online video streaming for shape notes and all, shape note singing and all that. So yeah, that could be life challenging. And then he wrote shape notes songs. And so is Jenny Solheim, Jim Solheim's daughter. And I wonder why she's doing the best they can about this. And and it happens. It's something to do with it. And I bet back in 2022 they have, you guessed it, Dally Street Harmony back in 2022, and all those 8 songs that you ought to know by now about this, and more shape notes and all this. Huge, could be very traditionally, and could be a lot of activity if you know what I'm saying. But this is what happens. You already know about this one, about getting to know Jim Solheim, and he wrote all the books, and it really makes sense about this one. So who knows about these things? About of course it really happens. About all the life lifetime, all these kids things you know of. So getting to know Jim Solheim from Omaha Shape Note Singing, member to songwriting for Shape Notes, and so is children's books. He's an author because no time at all. If you have kids, well, You just started to try this home and reading those books to your parents and all that stuff. Because getting to know Jim Solheim is the next best thing about shape notes and children books. Talk about. You're listening to my Everyday Agenda podcast from Angel Stone Productions and Spreaker Studios, and of course, that's right, video podcast like I'm doing right now from YouTube. Now it's time for another edition of Rachel's Thoughts, and could be a motivation for this one. And here she is. Wow, thank you, Rachel. I really appreciate the thought that counts. So who knows? Anyways, before we say goodbye, Halloween is coming on the 31st of Friday. So next weekend on my Everyday Agenda podcast, talk about Halloween from pumpkin decorating and all that. Trust me. So you find out what it is. Trust me. Is our Everyday Agenda podcast Halloween show, and I'm ready to do this. So who knows? Give us last about this one. That's next week from Angel Song Productions and Spreaker Studios, and I'm inside Do Space Podcast Studios. Just so you know. Okay? Thank you. Anyways, wrapping things up. Let's do it. So you might think you're so smart about your guess that these hero cousins, just 9 and 11 years old, and the big step of the way they got noticeably trouble. Yeah, these guys inside their ice cream shop, and I have no objection whatsoever, and I have no clue whatsoever. So who knows who's like? And what about the American Family's book of fables? That could be our nation's 250th years for now, and that's why Matt Mahan creating this book to educating and inspire and adoring all those children's books and all that stuff. In the same way as getting to know Jim Solheim, the guy who picked me up and go over to pizza parties and all that stuff. But this guy is good. He's the author of all the children's books, and so is Shape Notes singing, songwriting thing with his daughter Ginny. And oh boy, you, you may not believe it. It's gonna be huge. What about Jimmy Kimmel? Canceling his show? Oh yeah, late night show. Well, this is so dumb and so stupid. I cannot believe my eyes and ears. And I have no objection about Charlie Kirk's death. I'm ashamed of Jimmy Kimmel. You will cancel it. Goodbye, Jimmy. He is such a sore loser. Well, who knows? Going to civilize. And what about Nebraska Shape Notes singing this weekend? Start with, you guessed it, pizza party at Pizzeria out in West Omaha. And so it's informal Shape Notes singing as far as we concern about this one. And I have no clue. And and you might think it's so smart about this one, and and, and it's gonna be huge. And what about Nebraska all day singing this morning at Trinity Lutheran Church over in North Omaha? And I'm going to tell you this: this is gonna be a huge experience for my all kinds of stuff. So trust me, you don't want to try this at home about this one. And last but certainly not the least, could be motivated with, you guessed it, Rachel. She said enough about gut health and all that stuff. So who knows give you so much about this one. So trust me. Anyways, because like I said, Halloween comes to an end on October. So like I said, I'll be analyzing Halloween stuff for a very special edition of, you guessed it, Everyday Agenda podcast from Angel Song Productions and Spreaker Studios, and you'll be glad you did. Anyways, that's it for now, and I'm out the door, and you have no clue. And, it's gonna be huge. Anyways, that's it. That's it for now. Don't forget to Facebook and follow LHMusic at Facebook.com and TwitterX.com, and so is Parlor and all social media websites. And you know my username, LHMusic Time. And so is downloading the podcast and listen to it on the iHeartRadio app all the way to Amazon, no, all the way to, you guessed it, Apple Podcasts, other podcast distributors, and all that stuff. And the website, and I'm meant to tell you this. This could be huge for anyone else, and it could be civilized or whatever it happens. And the website, LHMusic Time 6 dot wixsite.com/ everyday agenda. And I meant to tell you this. It's going to be huge, and to be civilized or whatever. Anyways, and you know the rest of the story. Anyways, I got to get out of here. Have a great rest of the week, and we do it all again next weekend at Tuesday Place Podcast Studios in Omaha, Nebraska. At least this is about to sign out. Go down, salute all of you, America. Take care. Bye bye. See ya. Everyday Agenda podcast, and so is the video podcast as far as we're concerned, from Angels on Productions and Spreaker Studios, and of course, YouTube.